go ahead and hit on the camera. Now, interestingly enough, some models of the LG G8 had a triple camera setup and some models had a dual camera setup. So take that as you will. The standard dual model had a 12 megapixel standard lens, then a 16 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, where the other model had a 12 megapixel standard lens, a 16 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, and then a 12 megapixel telephoto lens. So I've said this before and I'll say it again, I'll keep saying it forever. Having that type of capability of having multiple sensors like that just screams to me that it's so much of a better deal. And I always like having the, ability of zooming out a lot and zooming in. So if you have that triple camera setup model, then that's perfect. Now you do have the ability of shooting 4K at 60 still on the LG G8. And I think that's a really good thing, to future-proof yourself. Having 4K at 60 really does you, a much better job than really anything else out there instead of, 8K or something. And I think the LG G8 actually had a really good camera module for the most part. It definitely wasn't perfect, and I'm not really a huge fan of LG's UI, to be honest, and it really does hinder a lot of what I think this phone could have been, potentially. I feel like the software actually ruins this phone, to be honest, and the camera has a lot of features on it, like I stated. I've always felt like since like the LG G2, even the probably LG G3, that phone I think was a 1440p panel on the front, and that could do 4K as well in the back at a time where not a lot of phones could do 4K. But this phone at the end of the day has 4K at 60, it has a lot of features, and it does have at least a dual camera setup for most models, so you're pretty good in that sense. And you do have an 8 megapixel front-facing camera where you can actually do 1080p videos on this one as well. So that's, something that kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I'm pretty sure it's going to rub a lot of people wrong way too, because if you think about it, this phone, Samsung Galaxy S10 came out the same year. The iPhone 11 and 11 Pro came out the same year. And when you look at those, those had 4K at 60 on the front. This one only had 1080p on the front. Even though it was 1080p at 60, it would have been cool if we had a little bit more capability there. So in terms of the camera setup, I'll say the back is pretty good. The front is not so good. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up. Now,